Hi smart people, Mr. H here. This video is for a Math 1 student. In this video, I will walk you through Unit 3 practice test. Okay, we're going to look at problem number 1. A boat is carrying containers that weigh 1,000 pounds each. Use this information to fill in the table, then plot the order pairs given by the table. Alright, so far we know that this boat's carrying containers, and each container weighs about 1,000 pounds. Okay, so 2 container which mean 2,000 pounds because each of them is 1,000 pounds, or 2 times 1,000 is 2,000 pounds. 5 times 1,000 which means 5,000 pounds, and 8 container would mean 8,000 pounds. Okay, what we're gonna do next is plug in these points into x and y coordinate plane. So we have 2,000. 2 container weight 2,000 pounds. 5 containers weight 5,000 pounds. 8 containers weight 8,000 pounds. And that would be it. Okay, number 2. For each scenario below, choose the graph that gives the best presentation. Bob begins his jogging workout by running faster and faster for about a minute. So he began run really fast for a minute. When he hits a comfortable pace, he runs at that pace for several minutes. So the speed not gonna change. So a constant speed for several minutes. Then he gradually slow down to stop over the next few minutes. Alright, so which one represent that he run really fast from the beginning and then he keep the same pace and then he slowed down? So first, when you look at the graph, look at the x-axis and y-axis to see what is this graph represent, what is the correlation between x and y. So this is about time and speed. Okay, times and speed. So for the first graph, as you see that times go by and the speed decreasing, the speed going down. But at first they say that he ran faster and faster, so he go really fast from the beginning. So the first one already wrong because decreasing in speed. The second one, we see that time go by and speed stay the same and this increases over time, which is not what they're telling you. They say that faster and faster from the beginning, so not that. Time go by, the speed going down, so that's not correct either. The last one is as time go by, the speed is increasing, and then at a certain time it's go flat, which means he keep the same speed over time. Then it's go down because he stopped to take a break or something. He stopped over the next few minutes. So the correct answer is the last graph. Now part B. A sightseeing ship is stopped in the water for an hour. So the ship is stopped in the water for an hour, miles from shore. So it's not at the shore, it's miles from the shore. Then captain had the ship back to the shore at a constant rate. So they go close to the shore. The ship docks at the shore for a while and then return to the open sea. Okay, so ship stop an hour, miles away from shore, and then they come closer to the shore, and then they stop there for a while, so a couple hours, and then they head back out to the ocean. So we're going to look at the x and y coordinate, x and y axis. The x represent time, and the y represent the distance to shore. Alright, we're going to look at the first graph. So as time go by, the distance from shore stay the same because the ship is stopped in the water miles from shore. So this is mile from shore and it's stopped because the distance didn't change over time. And then it's decreasing, which means the ship come close to the shore and then they turn back out and then stay there for a while. I don't think what is this scenario say that the ship dock at the shore. So the distance should be 0. The distance is still far away from the shore, right? This is still far away from the 0, 0 distance. So this is not correct. Now in this distance, the second graph say that as time go by, the distance from the shore is increasing, which is already wrong. They say that it stopped in the water for hours, or for an hour, sorry. So this is not correct from the beginning already. The second part, time go by, the distance unchanged. Yes, because the boat is resting miles away from the shore, and then captain head to the ship back to the shore. So as you see that since captain had the ship to the shore, the distance is decreasing until it hit 0 distance from the shore, and then it's rest there for a couple hours. So time go by, the distance is still 0, and then they go back out to the ocean. So correct answer is graph number 3. Now let's consider the graph number 4 to see maybe that will be a better answer, maybe not. Okay, so we're going to look at graph number 4. As time go by, the distance is decreasing. So this is already wrong because, again, the scenario begin with stop in the water for an hour, miles away from shore. So we expect something go sideways because the distance unchanged over time, over an hour. All right, that's it for number 2. Number 3. For each relation, decide whether or not it is a function. So we talked about this one before. I want you to treat domain like people and range like places. Okay, one person cannot be at 2 places at the same time. However, multiple people can go to the same place at the same time. So we're going to look at the first one. Tree go to -8, door go to 7, pencil go to -8, moon go to 7. So none of the domain repeated twice, or none of these people go to 2 different places. So it is a function. Number 2, people and places. Okay, so 7 go to 4, looking good. -8 go to 9, looking good. 8 go to 6, yes. 2 go to 7, and -9 go to 3. So each number go to a different places, so that will be good. It is a function. Okay, number 3. Number 3. So we didn't see this through the graph, but number 3 I can do is do a mapping here. Domain on this set, again, domain is all X value. So D, 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 D. So all the domain is D. Even if repeat 4 times. So the only answer is D. The range we have D, Y, F, and W. So if we do mapping here, domain, there's only option is D. Your range, you have multiple options. You have D, Y, F, and then W. And we see that the first coordinate, DD, which means D go to D. Next one, DY, D go to Y. DF is D go to F, and DW, D go to W. So think about people in play. We only have one person here is D on the domain, and it's going to 4 different places. One person cannot be cannot be in more than one place at the same time. So D going to 4 different places is not possible, so it's not a function. The different way to say it is if your domain repeated more than one time, it's not going to be a function. Like the next one, if I look at this one, 5, 3, 0, 8, none of the x's repeated, so this one is a function for sure. We're going to confirm it by do mapping. Domain is 5, 3, 0, and 8. The range is J, G, X, W. Okay, so domain and range we have 5308 and JGXW. So when we do mapping, 5 go to J, 3 go to G because of the point, 0 go to X, and 8 go to W. So each domain have their own range, so that will be a function. Each person go to their own place at the same time. It is possible. Alright, we're heading to number 4. The function h is defined by the following rule. H of x equal to 4x plus 1 completes the function table. So we talked about this before. Whenever you see f of x, h of x, m of x, g of x, they all represent for y. This equation looks like this: y equal to 4x plus 1. Okay, and then they ask you to plug in -5 in place of x and solve for y, or find the corresponding y. 4 times -5 plus 1, 4 times -5 is -20, plus 1 is -19. Opposite sign, you subtract -19. Then we do the same. We're going to plug in the next number, y equal to 4. Instead of -5, we will plug in -2 to find the corresponding value. So -2. 4 times -2 is -8, plus 1 is -7. -2, -7. Then again, repeat that process. Y equal to 4. Instead of plugging -2, now we will plug in 2. That is the next value. Plug in 2. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1, that will give you 9. 2, 9. And next one, we're going to plug in 3. Y equal to 4 times 3 plus 1. Again, same idea. We're going to plug in this point in place of x. That will give us 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1, that will be 13. And last one, we plug in 4. Y equal to 4 times 4 plus 1. So that will be 16 plus 1 is 17. Corresponding of x is 4. You plug it in, the corresponding y will be 17. Alright, we go into number 5. The owner of the recreation area fills a small pond with water in 180 minutes. The pond already has some water at the beginning. The graph shows the amounts of water in liters in the pond versus time in minutes. Find the range and domain of the function shown. So they give you a graph, which is the x-axis represent times in minutes, and the y-axis is represent amounts of water in liters. Okay, and here's our graph. Write your answer as an inequality using x and y appropriate. Okay, so range, what is range? Range is the y value, right? Range is y values. So look at the blue graph. You will see that the y value begin at 600, because this is y-axis, is begin at 600, and then the farthest point away, which has the y value, is 1050. So any number between this rank is our range. Any point on the blue line, you can map it to the y-axis. Okay, and it's because the blue line stops at the 180 and 1050, so the range is fixed between these two values. So range is y, and y is in the between of 600, and the furthest is 1050 liters of water. The domain is x value. Okay, so we're gonna look at x value. So it's begin again at 600 right here, but we're going to look at the x value instead of y. So x value right here will be 0, right? Because this point is 0, comma 600. So the x value will begin with 0 and is ending at 180. Because this point is 180 and 1050. The x value is 180. So any points on this line can map down to the x-axis. So your x value will begin at 0 and its end as 180. Okay, because they only fill in water in the pond and stop at 180 minutes. So x in the between of 0 and 180. That's it. Alright, number 6. Okay, since the video is already 15 minutes long, I'm gonna stop at the video here. We're gonna be back together for question number 6. Thank you everyone for watching and see you on the next video.